Mental health is a big issue in today's times. I mean, post-COVID, we've had a lot of issues going on and people are still dealing with mental health issues. And so, Dr. April, what do you say? You're a therapist, so.
Well, I mean, it's just a lot of things that people are going through. The trauma from this whole pandemic, and just trauma from their childhood, trauma from their past, relationship issues. A lot of those things, have just really been impacting people.
Okay, so we have a guest coming up that we're going to talk to. His name is Charles Harper, and he's going to walk us through his mission in life now that he's out here trying to help other people, since he has dealt with anxiety, depression, PTSD. So that's coming up. I can't wait to hear from him.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be amazing.
So I'm here to talk about PTSD. This is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, and I wanted to come on to the show because I've had lifelong PTSD resulting from childhood trauma, and it really took my life in a direction that I think most would find unfavorable, even leading me to attempt suicide. But once that point in my life came and I got therapy for it, my life has gone in a completely different direction. And so now I think it's a real good time for people, men and people of color specifically, to really share their stories and advocate for treatment for mental health issues such as PTSD. So that's why I'm here today, and I hope that someone is moved by my story and finds the resiliency in themselves to go seek treatment and improve their state of living. So that's why I'm here today.
Welcome to the Chamber Talk Show. We know in today's times, people have dealt with a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety, post-COVID-19 and other issues, just life in general. So today we are actually joined by someone who's here to talk to us about it, and we're going to talk about some coping strategies. I'm Dr. Tamika Manning.
I'm Dr. April Givens.
Thank you for joining us, and you are?
I am Charles Harper.
All right. Thank you for being with us today.
I appreciate being here.
I kind of feel like I know you.
Social media, when you
Right.
engage each other and you have a common interest,
Yeah.
that helps people to kind of get in
Yeah.
sync with each other. And so I think that's, sometimes it's a good thing.
Absolutely. We have a mental health talk show. We've talked to so many people, but tell us about your personal experiences dealing with mental health issues.
So I didn't know I had issues until in my 20s. And then even then I didn't really buy into it. I was raised by a black father, and the idea of seeking any kind of treatment for mental health was you don't do that, because then you're identified as weak, and it was like you might not qualify for jobs, and all of that kind of thinking was going on. So, but I was in the Navy, and I had a situation happen with my second born. The ship command wouldn't let me go to see him be born, and we're floating off the coast of where were we? I think we were near Hawaii or something, doing like ops.
Okay.
And I was like, and I was in special forces training, even though I didn't go all the way through with it. And I was like, I'll swim to shore. And they was like, you'll swim to shore? I said, I will swim to shore, and y'all know I can do it because you trained me. And so I spent the next 24 hours in observation. Yeah, put me in observation.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was cool, and they let me out, and we were doing something called cranking. Cranking in the Navy is where you're washing dishes for the whole command and serving food and all that kind of stuff. So when you're at sea, you do that 4 times a day.
Oh, wow.
So you're already, you're stressed because you don't get any sleep.
Yeah.
And I got into a fight, and when we got back to shore, they sent me to see a shrink, and they thought I had borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
Okay.
And so there's no treatment for that.
Okay. Wow. Dr. April is a therapist. Have you dealt with any clients like that? Okay.
Yeah, borderline. Well, maybe it wasn't treatment back then.
Back then. Yeah.
But, now there's treatment for borderline personality disorder. We usually use DBT therapy.
Okay.
So that's a more effective therapy. And there's different prescription medications that have been effective for borderline as well.
Yeah.
What's DBT therapy?
It's dialectical behavioral therapy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it deals with kind of the whole person. We talk about the halves of the mind. So the wise mind. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you experienced it, you realized
But that wasn't, something was going on, but that wasn't what was wrong with me.
okay.
And so I come home and I can't adjust. The marriage that I had in the Navy, I blew it up.
Okay.
Because my issue was a fear of abandonment.
Okay.
So at between 7 and 12, I was raped by my 16-year-old male babysitter who lived next door to us.
Wow,
At about
okay.
8 years old. Yeah. And I feel like it's kind of like the scarlet letter. Mm-hmm. Predators can see it.
Yeah.
And my father, being the strict disciplinarian, my rebelliousness, he disciplined in the most aggressive way possible. The whippings and so the fear of abandonment came from me and my older brother tried to set our trailer on fire. I'm from the south side of Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And so we lived in a trailer park in Robbins. Yeah, hood all day. And we tried to set the trailer on fire, but we weren't being malicious. We were just like, ooh, fire, like like an
How
8.
old are you then?
Fire.
How old
This
are
is like 8 or 9.
Oh,
Okay.
Like fire, So
Yeah.
we set the trailer halfway on fire.
Oh, wow.
Fire department comes out, they put it out. My mother makes us sleep in the smoky room, and it's like to wait till your father gets home.
Oh, wow.
And my father gets home, and he is not my biological father, but he's the only dad I know. Found out later my biological dad was murdered.
Oh, wow.
okay.
The dad, he knew me, but I didn't know him. Things didn't work out with him and my mom. So anyway, he's going to discipline us about the seriousness of fire. So he lights the stove, and he puts our ear close enough to the stove where the hair on our ear, you can start to smell it. And then he's whipping us, whipping me. And my mother's sitting, it's a single wide trailer, so she ain't sitting far, but she's sitting on the couch, and he's whipping me. Got my pants down, he's whipping me, and I'm like, mama. And he says, your mother's right there. She ain't gonna do nothing to save you. And that point, along with dealing with the abuse that I was dealing with, toxic stress syndrome is in play. And these are still my formative years. And so my whole way of dealing with any kind of emotional stress was to run or fight.
Yeah.
So we fast forward to adult life, and you see how it has your childhood, and we know, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute, how it impacts you as an adult and causes so many other issues, unresolved issues.
Well, that's the thing, is that my coping mechanism was anger.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I hear somebody speaking to me, and these are mostly women, because I'm open, and when they'll say something to me, and it won't be exactly what they said, it'll be how they said it.
Yeah.
And then I'm an 8-year-old kid again, as a grown man in the relationship. And I can't figure out why they're not. I was like, am I stupid? I know what I said, and I'm doing that. And they're reacting to that, and you're talking about explosion after explosion.
So as a therapist, what would you say to him?
Yeah, he's describing everything that's, typical trauma, with the childhood, growing up, and then dealing with relationships and having that bell go off it takes you back to what you experienced because you lack that love and affection that you needed as a child.
Yeah. How do other people deal with it? People who have never gone to therapy, people who think that therapy is taboo, they don't want to go to therapy because they think it's not for them. What would you say?
Well, to go to therapy.
Plain and simple.
Seriously, to go to therapy because, we teach you different techniques and skills and coping skills and things. It takes a lot of unpacking to deal with something like this. So it's nothing that I can give you a quick thing to do on your own. Okay. You need to go to therapy because it takes a lot of work to unpack this and be able to heal from it.
Oh, yeah.
And you use social media a lot to bring awareness.
I
work
do.
for MHMR. Tell me what you're doing. It's like this is your mission now in life. Like, this happened to you, but you're using it for good. Yeah,
and I wrote this book in 2016. WNBA player Imani Boyette, she's really outspoken on mental health because she deals with depression, and she supported the book. Came out, we did a big launch, and the book is called Screaming Into the Light. I was still afraid to say I had mental health issues at that time. I was trying to, like, how do I start on this road? Because I know something's wrong, but I don't think it's that wrong. And it didn't come till 2018. I was in the cycle. I was married to a different woman, and she drank a lot of alcohol, which I drank a lot of alcohol to hang out and cope and everything. And she would always trigger me with something. And whether it was her personality or just my reaction to what I thought I heard, and it would be the cycle. And in 2008, I put a gun to my head, pulled the trigger, and I wanted to be dead. I was just like, I can't deal. And because it jammed, that's what I said, you know what, I'm done. My life being out of control, and I went to therapy, and I started to work on my shame. Shame for me was a huge, like prison, but I couldn't see it. You know, I'm this tall, big dude. You know, shame. I ain't got no shame. And that therapist was like, Charles, you do, and we're gonna dig into it. So I figured, you know, she helped me to learn that I'm more courageous than those who attempt to cope. And I said, if I can be courageous and vulnerable and transparent, I need to then be an advocate. Yeah. So that's how I ended up at MHMR. I'm a diversity and inclusion professional. Okay. And what they do, they're an agency who supports and attempts to facilitate the healing of people with substance abuse, developmental disorders. Yeah. And so my job is to decrease tension among the staff so they can bring their full selves to that community that we serve.
Awesome. And that's why we started this show. We wanted to help people. We have a therapist, an educator, we have a medical doctor. We're going to get ready to close, but what are your coping, what do you do for fun? Yeah. What do you do if you're having a bad day? Yeah. Like, for me, I work out, I push eating healthy.
I see.
And all those things.
I'll be like, you killing it.
Thank you. So what would you say to someone out there who's dealing with mental health issues? Yeah. What are some things that they can do to stay afloat and to stay?
Well, one thing I would say, don't be afraid of medication. Okay. I take Eflexor. Okay. Which is a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which means I can handle more stress now. Okay. And so don't be afraid if someone says, well, let's try this and see what happens. It may not work for you. We may have to try something else, but let's try. And then the other coping mechanism is creativity. For me, I used to be a professional singer long time ago. And yes, you can. And so what I do is, because I don't seek to be a professional singer anymore, I still got the equipment in my house. Okay. And so every Saturday or something, I just take about 3-4 hours and I just go through every song that I can sing.
Oh, see, that's what's up. Yeah. I like that. Because I use Smule. You heard of Smule? The Smule app? Well, it's a karaoke social media app.
What?
So I have a whole album on Smule.
Now I know. I might get my pro game up here. I don't know. I have to see.
Me, Jim.
Yeah, working out, anything to release.
Yeah, so, you've got to find something to do.
Got to release that energy.
To release it. So thank you
Gotta
so
do that.
much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Appreciate
Definitely.
it.
It's very nice meeting both of you.
You too.
Right.
By the way, I'll be done with my PhD.
Hey.
In 2 years.
Hey. I need to
2
work
years.
on and do some guest hosting.
Call me doctor in a minute.
There you go.
I used to teach, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it because it's funny. I used to tell my students when I got accepted into the doctoral program, I said, you know what, I may do counseling, because at first I did a doctor of psychology. Okay. I did that for 2 years, and I was like, this is not going to give me the effect I want. Okay. And I switched to a PhD. But I told my students, I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to change my last name too. And they was like, what? I was like, well, I need a gimmick, I don't want to be, you're a PhD, you're boring. I was like, so I think I'm going to change my last name to Daddy. What do y'all think? And it was like, Dr. Daddy.
Dr. Daddy.
I'm like a porn star. I was like, does it? But I'm doing good,
Right.
So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, that can be
We'll see
your
how it
stage
goes. That's gonna be my gimmick, right? Dr. Daddy's a porn thing? No, I'm giving diversity and inclusion training. I'm gonna be like a father to you,
But after they get past the name.
Yeah, after they get past the name.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
All right. But thank you so much for having me and letting my story get out.
Dr. April Take us out with an
With
affirmation.
the affirmation.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
She's big on those.
Okay, every emotion is legitimate. I let myself be happy, sad, frustrated, and hurt. This is my experience, and I am accepting it.
This is my experience, and I'm accepting it. I think that's very powerful.
Yeah, that's
All
heavy.
right. Thank you so much.
That's a lot
All right.
there.
And thank you guys for joining us.
Hi, my name is Nikita Wilburn, and I'm a registered nurse, certified personal trainer, and the co-owner of Redeem Fitness in DeSoto, Texas. Did you know that what you eat not only supports your mind and body, but also your mental health? Eating clean foods supports your brain by removing waste, stress, and giving you the ability to make sound decisions. Try eating foods high in nutrients such as fruits and vegetables, fish, lean meats, and whole grains. To get more tips on healthy eating habits, follow me at Burn with Nikki on Instagram. Remember, what you eat helps determine how you think.